Welcome back to Bytesector. Today we're going to be looking at an outdoor security camera from Nest. It sports a secure mounting system, tons of IR lighting, a color light ring, and a 4K HDR camera sensor. Have you guessed what it is yet? That's right, if you guessed the Nest Cam IQ Outdoor, you guessed right. This thing is a beast of a camera and sports the same svelte appeal that the Nest Hello sports, a matte white casing with a glossy black front. An imposing sight on any house. So let's take a look. Some of you might remember that I reviewed the Nest Cam Outdoor way back in January, and I didn't think much of it. It was at best an indoor camera outfitted for outdoor use. I went as far as to say that it wasn't a camera I would use as a security camera due to its many design flaws. This is what led me to take a close look at the Nest Cam IQ Outdoor, the successor to the original outdoor camera from Nest. If you're interested in what comes in the box, I suggest you check out my unboxing video here. To kick it off, you get all the standard equipment with the Nest Cam IQ Outdoor. A mounting plate, you get your screws, you get some brackets to hold the cable to a wall or a ceiling. You get a very long Type-C flat USB cable, a power brick that goes right into the wall. It's not something in the middle. An Allen key. This is used to release the mounting plate from the camera, or the camera from the mounting plate rather, when you've mounted it. The camera itself, which is beautiful. It's got a speaker on the bottom, mic on the bottom. Looks great. Manual, some wall plugs in the case here. I don't want to take them out because they're all loose. And then you got the packaging, which is standard, typical Nest. Anyways, it's all pretty standard. And the camera, of course, is looking pretty. This camera is heavy. I thought the original outdoor camera was heavy because of the sizable magnets that were in the camera, but this IQ is even heavier. Hard to believe. It's got a light ring around the IR lights. The IR lights are here, and then the lens. The light ring on the outside changes color depending on the activity you're doing. So if it detects motion, it'll turn blue. If you're communicating, it will be green. You can disable it in the app. So if you don't want to alert somebody that they're being watched, it doesn't have to turn on and turn blue and say, hey, you're being watched. That's a great feature. I like that. I had the light ring actually disabled the entire time I had this mounted on the outside of the house, simply because most people don't want to know they're being watched, and some take offense when they find out. Again, the black ring here contains your infrared LEDs. They're 850 nanometer wavelength. Nest hasn't specified how many are in the camera, and I didn't go outside and count them at night because it was a little too far away to count such detail. The hinge mechanism on the back is actually quite smart. It rotates up and down so you get your tilt, but the actual housing will actually rotate around as well, allowing you to pretty much mount this on any surface and point it in any direction, even a 45-degree angle. You could point it like that. So it's very versatile, and then obviously when you get it to the right spot, you want to orient it so that the speaker grill's on the bottom. Great, it's very easy to mount, very easy to manipulate, to position it properly for your environment. I love that about this. What kind of specs do you get? It's a great question. The Nest Cam IQ Outdoor sports an IP66 rating, which means no water or dust is going to find its way into the housing and cause any damage. I personally used this camera actually for possibly the best gamut of weather. We had snow, we had sun, we had rain, we had -20, we had +10. I ran this camera through all kinds of weather, never had any problems, handled everything like a champ. It has an 8 megapixel sensor capable of 4K resolution according to Nest. With HDR support, it's supported by 12 times digital zoom, which allows the camera to zoom in on anything pretty much in the frame. It's got a track and zoom where it'll actually track active objects or people or cars or animals, whatever it be, and zoom in on them for you so that you don't have to worry about pinching and zooming on the screen right away. already done for you. It's got a 130-degree field of view, which is great, but not perfect. 1080p 30 recording, so when it actually records, it's going to record at 1080p. It just allows you to watch the 4K sensor live. It's got operating temperatures between -40 and +45 degrees Celsius, which is way better, way better than what you saw in the Nest Cam Outdoor. I think the Nest Cam Outdoor was rated to -20 Celsius. I can tell you in a Canadian winter, -20 will cut it about 60 or 70% of the time, but I don't want to risk my investment in a security camera being frozen and shutting down. So, excellent upgrade there. It's, like I said, ideal for almost any climate in North America, and lastly, it's got 128-bit AES encryption on the device. A decent spec sheet for a security camera. Let's move quickly on to design. And this is where the predecessor, the Nest Cam Outdoor, let me down. The two most notable changes to the Nest Cam IQ Outdoor, aside from the aesthetic design, are the inclusion of a much smaller Type-C power connector. I'm just gonna uncover this cable here. I'll zoom in on that later, but it's a Type-C connector on both ends, which means that Type-C into the power brick, Type-C into the back of the camera. The great thing about that is that the hole in your brick wall or whatever mounting surface doesn't have to be the 1-inch hole that you needed for the Nest Cam Outdoor. It can now be a much smaller hole that is almost the exact same size as the physical cable passing through, which is the way it should be. The second thing that was greatly improved is the fact that the cable can pass, actually let me just uncover this, can pass directly through the mounting plate. And this allows you to come right out of the camera, through the mounting plate, and into the surface that you've mounted it on, eliminating the security risk of having a cable coming out of the bottom where it could be cut by a malicious actor or whatever else. Hooked on something, something hits it. It's just not a great design. This greatly improves on it. You can still have it come out of the bottom or top of the mounting plate if you're not comfortable drilling a hole in your brick or you're mounting it to an external outlet, or whatever the case may be. You still have that option, but it's not the only option anymore. Another notable change that I'd like to highlight is this Allen key. The Allen key actually notches into a little hole on the base of the camera, and that releases some clamps that hold it to the base plate. This means that when the camera is mounted to a wall or a roof or something like that, it's not gonna easily get knocked off. The old Nest Cam Outdoor was a magnet. You could grab it literally and just pull it off, and you didn't have to damage anything to pull it off. This will not release unless you have an Allen key. Those are the three biggest improvements to this camera from a design perspective, where I give Nest a thumbs up for realizing how big a screw up they'd made with the original Nest Cam Outdoor. Like the app experience for the Nest Hello, the Nest Cam IQ Outdoor links right up with the Nest app via a QR code on the back of the base here. You just scan that QR code, it links up to the app then walks you through, step by step, the installation, the physical installation of the Nest Cam IQ. It's a very easy, straightforward process to follow along with. I commend Nest on their attention to detail with the installation steps in the app. Installation can be very simple. For the purposes of mounting for this review, I chose not to put a hole in my brick wall and rather strung the cable down behind a drain pipe and through the garage door to a power outlet within. I used 4 of the plastic clips to hold the cable in place along the ceiling, and I can honestly say the whole installation took me maybe 40 minutes, including my time to figure out the mounting logistics. Image quality is amazing on this camera, absolutely stunning when you're at 4K. The problems begin when you start to zoom in. I cannot stress enough that digital zoom is nearly useless and isn't zoom at all. It's just purely enlargement of an image. I'd personally like to see the next iteration of the Nest Cam Outdoor or Nest IQ or whatever it ends up being called, the next outdoor Nest Cam, to include either a crazy like 16K sensor so that when you do zoom in, the resolution, the pixels don't get so big that you start to see blockiness in the image, Or just do what some cell phones are already starting to do and include 2 or 4x optical zoom, which would allow you to zoom without sacrificing image quality. I would much prefer the optical zoom. Where does that leave us with the Nest Cam IQ Outdoor in a smart home? It's certainly a great camera to have as a security camera. These days you never know what's going on outside your home, even when you're at home. I know when I'm sitting here in my home office in the basement, I have no clue what's going on outside, let alone what the weather is. Even though I have 2 windows here, I don't usually look up. So when I get an alert on my phone saying, hey, the camera has detected motion, and I swipe down on a notification to see a quick 3-second animation, I get a quick view of what's going on outside my home. I get a quick view of the weather. I am not oblivious to the outside world anymore. It's almost even a way to connect when you're working. Even if you're not working at home, you get to know what's going on at home while you're not there. I would almost call it a third eye. Something that's looking for you that you can quickly glance at when you need to. Don't have to give it much thought. Again, we come down to money though. The Nest Cam IQ Outdoor is undeniably a great security camera for outside. It packs all of the features I'd expect into a package that's as functional as it is pretty. Unfortunately, it will also set any potential users back a whopping $350 US or 430 Canadian. And that's before you factor in any desire for historical footage using the Nest Aware subscription service. There are methods to set up a local video recorder in the house and sort of hack the system to be able to record locally, but it's not supported and it's not recommended. And that leaves you with only one option, Nest Aware. And as a result, on average, you're looking at about $50 a year per camera to save up to 5 days of footage. If you want 10 days or 30 days, the price only goes up from there. So the big question that all of you are probably wondering is, should you get it? Well, it depends. If you're invested in a Google and Nest smart home, then the Nest Cam IQ Outdoor is certainly a welcome addition to that smart home environment. Absolutely, I loved it. And I run Google Home, I run Android TV. I enjoyed the full experience of this camera. If you're considering the Nest Cam Outdoor, let me assure you that it's worth the additional price to upgrade to the IQ. The many deficiencies of the original unit just aren't worth the lower price. For the more technical person or someone who doesn't need days of recorded history, this purchase is also a no-brainer. You can figure out how to record locally, you're technical, or you know what, you don't care about historical, you just want to know what's happening now. That's fine. For those of you who want cloud storage, just keep in mind that if you're going to go for this camera, you're gonna be looking at a minimum $50 a year to have historical footage. I don't know if it's worth it. I think Nest, you should reconsider the pricing model there. I think it should be a lot cheaper. I mean, storage every day becomes cheaper. Why are we paying $50 a year for historical video footage? Especially when competitors are offering it for free. Thanks for watching today's video. If you didn't like it, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs down. Leave us a comment below letting us know what we can improve for next time. But if you did like it, give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell beside it so that you get notified the next time we post a video. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Have a great day, and we'll see you all next time.